to be catching bad guys with this soon. Why are we spending so much time in this field with, food? But I know it pays dividends later. So what do I do with the turns, you might be wondering? I do a straight line track, like I said, the chicken wings and the scent pad, a couple footsteps with hot dogs, and they're deeper footsteps. And then I introduce a 90-degree turn, right? And I always want to keep the wind at my back at this point, just a nice steady little wind going, because I don't want the dog to air scent the track where the turn is. I don't want him to start picking up his head and understanding where it's at. So as the dog comes up to the turn, I have the handler actually choke up on the leash as much as he can, and right when that dog hits that turn in the grass where he could see it, he actually straddles the dog with his hips, or his legs into his hips, and he spins the dog into the turn and presents the turn. And believe it or not, what I'm doing is I'm just teaching a weird form of rear end awareness for the dog. But I'm also helping the dog learn how to navigate the turns. So we start doing that a few times, and believe it or not, it becomes almost like a conditioned response for the dog. Like the handler's choking up on the leash, and right before the handler could even get there, the dog hits a turn and he throws his hips. Great, now I know it's time for the next step. So the next step, I actually got this from Fabian and Gina, some very talented sport trainers in Florida, and they're teaching some Schitzen or IGP tracking.
Yeah.
And I totally stole like this method from him and started kind of like tweaking it to some law enforcement. And the variation, and I can't repeat exactly how he does it. I know he does a phenomenal job with it, but the variation I took from it was actually on that nice 90-degree turn is I take a step past where the turn is, and I'm going to put the piece of food at the toe on that point. And then right before on that long step, I'm doing a nice big drag in the ground with a lot of human odor, a lot of disturbed earth, and I'm putting the hot dog on the toe of that step. So it's probably harder I'm not explaining it as good as I could draw it on a board, but what happens is the dog passes the turn by one step, realizes he passed the turn because now all that odor is blowing into his face because he passed by one step. He smells the extra hot dog, the foot, and he'll actually use his rear end and walk backwards, throw his hip, and go to the turn.
Nice.
And what that's teaching the dog is relocate the track on your own.
Yeah.
So now the progression is obviously phasing out the food, phasing out the deep footsteps, and teaching the dog, I passed the turn, instead of me just continually walking down and then eventually maybe lifting my head, maybe not, is stop in your tracks, backwards walk, relocate the track. And then I would just play the game. Is it left or right? Which way did the turn go?
So the hot dog at the toe is letting the dog, is it disrupting the pattern? Is that the purpose of that? Instead of it being in the heel?
So if it's at the heel, they're probably going to go ahead and they might hit the turn. Gotcha. So I put it at the toe on the front one, so they actually purposely pass the turn, which I want them to do. Yeah. And then they get the odor, because the wind's still on my back, of this nice deep footsteps right here, that's deeper than any of the other footsteps, more hot dogs on there, and they go, oh, there it is. They've learned their rear end awareness, they go back, and they go in and they go track. So
I did something similar to that with Wapo, because he was speeding, and again, he would lose the track and it would be game over. I think I got it from either Fabian or I honestly forgot who, but I want to say, or Mike Lorraine probably, I don't know, but I would make a line and then it had an end, and as soon as the dog went past it, I would pop him, and by that time I already put food right underneath, right behind him. So as soon as he hit the end, he'd back up and find food. So anytime that he lost the track, he automatically backs up thinking that there's going to be food back there. Then I would continue the turn. So it's very similar to what you're doing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.